So, you want to be a data analyst. You've seen the job postings, you've heard all the buzz, but the actual path to get there, it feels kind of cluttered, right? A little confusing. Like, where do you even begin? Well, today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. We are laying out a clear, step-by-step roadmap.
We're breaking this whole thing down into 5 key stages. First up, the roadmap itself, just to set some expectations. Then, we'll dive into your core skill set, the absolute must-haves. After that, we'll talk about turning those skills into actual projects. From there, we'll get into crafting a resume that actually gets you noticed. And finally, we'll cover a job hunt strategy that works. Let's do this. Starting any new career can feel a little daunting, can it? It's like you're standing at the bottom of this huge mountain, just looking up at everything you have to learn. But here's the thing, you don't climb it all at once. You take it one step at a time. And our very first step is just understanding the timeline. Okay, let's get real for a second. This slide gives you a healthy dose of reality. On average, you're looking at about 6 months from the day you start to your first job offer. Now, the biggest chunk of that, naturally, is going to be the 3 to 4 months you spend just learning the core skills. Then, building out your projects will take another 3 to 6 weeks. Getting your resume perfect? That's quick, less than a week. And then the actual job hunt? Yeah, that can take 2 to 4 months. So look, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But this timeline proves it is 100% doable.
All right, let's move on to the most important part of this whole journey, getting the tools of the trade. These are the non-negotiable skills you absolutely need to master. Think of this next part as us forging your data analyst toolkit, piece by powerful piece.
Okay, listen up, because this is crucial. You start with SQL, period. It is the #1 skill for a really simple reason. All of a company's data lives in databases, and SQL is the language you use to talk to those databases to ask questions and get answers. And maybe even more important, it's the foundation of almost every technical interview. You will, without a doubt, be tested on it. You've got to know it inside and out. So once you've used SQL to pull all that raw data, what's next? You have to make it make sense. And that's where business intelligence tools, or BI tools, come into play. Software like Tableau or Power BI, these are basically your canvas. They let you turn all those boring lines of numbers into beautiful charts, graphs, and interactive dashboards that tell a story. And the best part? Once you learn one, you pretty much know how to use all of them. The skills transfer over like crazy. Now, you might be thinking, I already know Excel. But trust me, for a data analyst, Excel is a whole different animal. We are not just talking about summing up a column here. We're talking about serious data cleaning, mastering pivot tables to slice and dice information, and using functions like VLOOKUP to bring different data sets together. It's the Swiss Army knife of the business world, and every single company will expect you to be a pro. It's a fundamental. And then there's Python. Let's be really clear. Python is an absolute powerhouse. It can handle massive data sets, it can automate boring tasks, create complex models, the whole shebang. But, and this is a big but, it has a much steeper learning curve. The smartest way to go about it is to master SQL, your BI tool, in Excel first. Get those wins, build up your confidence, and then level up your entire toolkit with the power of Python. And just so we're looking ahead a little bit, we have cloud platforms, things like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. More and more data is living in the cloud these days, so being familiar with these is a huge bonus. Don't think of this as something you need on day one, but it's definitely the next step in your learning journey to really future-proof your career. Okay, so you've put in the hours, you're learning these awesome skills, but here's the honest truth. Just knowing the tools is only half the battle. Now you have to prove that you can actually use them to solve real problems. This is where we make the switch from theory to practice. So you've spent months getting good at SQL queries and building dashboards in Tableau. So now what? How in the world do you bridge that massive gap between saying, I took a course, and confidently saying, I can do this job? The answer, in one single word, is projects. And this quote from Alex just nails it. It perfectly explains the why. Your projects are where your stories come from. When you have a project, you can be specific in an interview. You're not just listing a skill anymore. You're talking about something you actually built. It completely changes the conversation. It's just a much better answer. So how many of these projects do you actually need to build up this library of stories? Well, the magic number is somewhere between 3 and 5. That's really the sweet spot. It's enough to show off a range of skills, like a project for data cleaning, one for a dashboard, one for some data exploration, without totally overwhelming yourself, or more importantly, the hiring manager.
I mean, let's just make this crystal clear. Just look at the difference here. Who are you going to hire? The first answer is totally passive. It's about what you consumed. The second answer is active. It's about what you created. It shows a process, it shows you can solve problems, and it points to a real result. That right there, that is the undeniable power of a project. All right, you've got the skills, you've got the projects. Now it's time to wrap it all up in a resume that doesn't just get read, but actually gets you a callback. And for anyone who's changing careers, the way you structure your resume is absolutely critical. So here's the key. What a recruiter sees first is everything. If you're breaking into data analytics and you don't have direct experience, you have to lead with what's most relevant now. So right under your name and contact info, you list your technical skills. Then, immediately after that, you show off your portfolio projects. Your old work experience and your education, that comes after you've already proven you have the skills for the job you're applying for. And this right here is the mental shift you have to make. For a career changer, your projects are your professional experience. You want that hiring manager to see that you know SQL, Tableau, and Python before they see that your last job was something totally different. You have to lead with your new strengths. You just have to. All right, the resume is looking good, the portfolio is shining, you're ready. It is time to step into the arena and start the job hunt. But just like everything else we've talked about, there's a smart way to do this and, well, a much less effective way. You know, the default move for most people is to just go online and blast their resume out to hundreds of jobs. The problem is, the callback rate for that is, well, it's pretty heartbreaking. The much, much more effective strategy, you strategically connect with technical recruiters. See, their entire job is to find qualified people like you to fill jobs. You're not just another random applicant to them. You're a potential solution to their problem. And the absolute best place to do this is LinkedIn. First things first, make sure your profile is totally optimized. Showcase your new skills, link to your portfolio, the works. Then, you literally just search for technical recruiter in the city you want to work in. Send them a short, professional connection request. And once they accept, follow up with a quick message that highlights your key skills and your best projects. I mean, this slide really says it all, doesn't it? You can spend months just playing the numbers game, applying blindly, and get almost no responses. Or you can spend that same time building a small network of recruiters who will actually go to bat for you and work to get you interviews. It's a total game changer, and it dramatically boosts your odds of success. So there you have it, the complete roadmap, from A to Z. You learn the skills, you prove them with projects, you show them off on your resume, and you apply with a smart strategy. The path isn't cluttered or confusing anymore, it's laid out right here in front of you. So the only question left is, what's the very first step you're going to take today?